Bonjour mes amis, c'est Kevin Lima, le réalisateur de Goofy and Max. Je suis du soleil, je parle français un petit peu, donc I will now switch over to English. Hopefully they put the little subtitles at the bottom for all you guys to follow along. A few months ago now, Pierre Alexis reached out and asked me if I'd do an introduction for your 35mm screening. And I have to say, I am quite jealous because I haven't seen a Goofy movie, or as you call it, Dingo and Max, since 1995, maybe? That's a long time. So you're really in for a treat today. He also asked that I'd give you a little bit of a background as to how I got involved in the movie and how it played out over the years of production. I started at Disney Feature Animation. I was an animator on Oliver and Company, a character designer on Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, The Rescuers Down Under, and while I was doing story on Aladdin, I asked if I could direct, and they told me, unfortunately, they had the next 5 pictures already assigned, and that there was little chance that I'd get a position. So I left, started developing things at another company, and while I was doing that, I got contacted by Disney TV Animation to do some freelance on a project called The Goofy Movie. That's what it was called at the time, The Goofy Movie. As you can tell, we changed that to A Goofy Movie. And I was doing some storyboards for them. And they lost their director. And they came to me and asked if I would be willing to direct. And of course, I was thrilled because that's what I had asked for. And I thought of it as kind of like a stepping stone, really. Like, it's a Goofy movie. What could that possibly be? What could I bring to it? How could I make it my own? And thought of it, well, it's going to be a stepping stone to something else. Little did I know that it would become the most personal movie that I've ever made. We did a lot of work in Los Angeles to begin with, probably about a year's. We storyboarded, we recorded voices, we put together reels. And it was always the intention that the studio in France was going to animate it, do the production. They had done the DuckTales movie, and we thought that this would be, or the studio had thought this would be a great second movie for them. I had been sending tapes, VHS tapes, if you remember what those are, back and forth, giving them direction, going through the storyboards with them, acting out what I thought the scene should be. And we kind of felt like there was nothing else to do in LA, so I should go to Paris. So I did. I actually lived in Paris for about a year working on the movie, working on the production. I believe I lived in the 9th arrondissement. And my metro station, if I remember correctly, this was 28 years ago, was République. And I took that metro every day to Montreuil. And I have to say, it was a pure joy, not only to be in Paris, but to work with a group of artists who were hungry, who really wanted it. It was important to them, and they put everything they had into it. We didn't speak the same language. I don't really speak French. I had translators. But because we were artists, we were able to talk to each other through drawings or attitude acting, which was really fantastic, I have to say. And I really, to this day, have such fond memories of making the movie there. When it was released, the movie wasn't so successful, actually. It didn't do very well. It only made about $35 million in the United States. And there were some issues at the studio at the time. There was a big change in the executive sort of upper echelon, and it led to us sort of being buried. So we didn't make a lot of money, but over time, the movie has become a true cult classic. And I have more fans reach out to me about this movie than any other movie I've made. And honestly, it is a joy that of all the movies, that this one is the one that's connected, because ultimately it was the most personal to me. I was able to take a movie which I thought of as just being a stepping stone to other movies and really delve into sort of the father-son bond. I had lost my dad. Didn't lose him, he took off. He just disappeared when I was 9. And I didn't see him again for 25 years. So in many ways, this movie was a way for me to imagine what the reconnection would be with my dad. So it's a very, very personal movie to me. And I am just thrilled that it's become a movie that you all love as well. I have a couple of things that I want to show you. Actually, 2 right back here. 2 of my favorite objects that I've saved from the film. I have these one-of-a-kind maquettes that were made by Kenny Tompkins on the movie. Here's one of Max and a beautiful little Roxanne. They're in tough shape, but I have saved them and enjoy the memories that they bring back for me. So let me put these down and wish you all a great screening. I wish I could be there with you to watch it. It's really going to be a thrill. And again, thank you so much for all the love you've shown this movie, and have a great time seeing it again in its original form. Alrighty. Bonsoir. Bye-bye.